This is demo number 2 for the font assignment. So in this demo, I'm going to explain how to use the pen tool and the pathfinder tool to create the shape of your letters. So with your layers panel visible, I have one here that I've already done, but I'm going to do it again so you guys can see me do it. So I'm creating a new layer, and I'm going to name it Drawing 2. You can call it whatever you want. And you're going to go and get your pen tool, and you can start wherever makes sense to you. I think I'm going to start here. So you just remember with the pen tool, if you're making a straight line, you just have to click, and if you're making a curved line, you're going to pull. So I'm going to start here in the middle of this E here. So I'm going to click once, and I'm going to click again, and I'm not pulling, I'm just clicking. And then this is a curve, so I'm going to go to the middle of this curve right here and pull out. And then I'm going to drop another one right there, and another one right there, another one there. And don't worry if these are not perfect, because you can go back and move them later. So you just kind of want to get them about where you want them. And when you're doing curves, if you're doing see how this E has this tail? A lot of your anchors will go about in the same place on both sides. So like if there's a dot on one side of a two-sided object, there will be another dot probably across from it. And I'm going to close this path. So that means that this is a closed shape now. I can add fill to it and it will fill up, but I'm not going to do that just yet. Okay, so I'm going to go back and tweak this. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Remember, you can use shift, or not shift, but spacebar, and you can drag and click at the same time, and it'll move your palette over, or move your artboard over. So I'm going to actually get rid of my drawing for a minute so I can just see this shape, because I feel like I can see it better. And then using my direct selection tool and the pen tool, I'm going to kind of go back and forth and move some of these dots around. Okay, so I grabbed that anchor accidentally, so I'm going to go back and, well, I can do a Command Z and it'll go back to where it was. Oh, I did it again. So you can use the shortcuts for these. For the direct selection tool, A will automatically give you that tool. And P is for the pen tool. And if you hover over them, they'll show you. V is for the selection tool. The anchor point tool is Shift C. So you can kind of like figure it out as you go. So you're just kind of like refining your shape. Oops. And, you know, you do as much as you want. You can fool around with it until you get it the exact shape that you like. You can also get rid of points if you decide that you don't, not sure that it needs to be there. Like, I don't know if that one needs to be there. So look, you can go to delete anchor point tool, which is just the minus. So you're just kind of refining. Okay. And another thing I want to show you that you can do is you can use the shape tools and the pathfinder panel to create shapes as well if you're not if you don't like drawing freehand. So like I'm going to use the ellipse tool and make kind of an elongated, like an oval. And okay, and then I'm going to use, I'm going to make another one. I'm going to use the rectangle tool, and I'm going to make a rectangle to kind of cut this oval in half. And then I'm going to go to, here it is, the Pathfinder panel over here, and you can do, there's unite, minus front, intersect, and exclude. And these will help you kind of make shapes by adding shapes together or using one shape to kind of cut another shape in half. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use that rectangle to cut that circle in half. So using your selection tool, you want to select them both and then go to minus. And look, it made me like a little eye hole for my E. So then you can move it and you can turn it and try to like position it inside here. Kind of line it up. So it's an easier way of kind of drawing if you're a little bit unsure about drawing everything by hand. So that's one solution. So you can use a combination of freehand and combining different shapes until you get the exact shape that you want. Yeah. Okay. And once you have your shape finished, it's a good idea to, it's going to show up all in the same layer as long as you didn't create a new layer, but these are two different paths. So right now, if I select the outside of the E, then I go to the swatches panel and I want to fill it, you'll notice that eye hole doesn't stay white because the two shapes are not combined. So what you need to do is to, with them both selected, go under Object, Compound Path, Make. And ta-da! They become all one shape. And you can undo that also if you decide that you want to go back and tweak something and you want them to be two separate paths again. You can release it right there. And once you do that, this is all one object, so you can fill it with different colors, and you can put a stroke on it, and it won't, it'll act like all one shape. Yeah,